I'm in Olympic National Park, Lake Ozette. Camped last night here, and I'm on the trail to Sand Point, probably about midway on the 3-mile trail. This is typical Boardwalk. Now they're converting to gravel and taking out a lot of the boardwalk. Walk along a second here. Steps. Here's ginseng flowers. There's just tons of them. These blue flowers are beautiful. Tons of them along here. They're not open right now because it's overcast, and they will be open when the sun comes out later probably. Here we're coming up to where it converts again to gravel, which is easier to walk on when the boards are wet and not slippery. And there's a lot less steps because there isn't any steps usually, maybe occasionally. There's just thousands of these evergreen huckleberry plants along the trail. And you can see the berries right there. Blueberries are edible and not too bad tasting. A little tough, but not too bad. Here's salal plants, and they put out berries. And here's some hanging down here. Red stems and purple berries. And they're edible and not too bad to eat. I like to eat them a lot. On newer milled planks, cedar planks, going around this zigzag, I thought it might be interesting to take a video of doing that. Really scenic in these woods. There's huge cedars and spruce trees on the coast here in the Olympic National Park strip. I believe these are called bunchberries, and there's a lot of them along the trail. They are not edible as far as I know. Then over here is a sample of skunk cabbage. Here's a huge old cedar stump that's hollow inside. And there's an opening on the other side that's big enough to easily get inside of it. And it goes up pretty high. Way up in the air there, before it comes to a jagged end up there. Here's some old weathered snags sticking up in the air, reaching for the sky. Here's an old moss-covered cedar that's still alive, stretching up with all kinds of clumps of moss on it. First branch, way up there. Here's another old snag. Cedar snag. Here's an old stump that's acting as a nurse log for this younger tree growing. And it's still kind of hollow inside here. Wonder what's down in there. Dark hole. Here's an old fallen tree. There's a stump. I mean the roots. And come around the bottom side of its foot, you might say. Tangle of roots. Here's a section of boardwalk that's the old fashioned way of split cedar planks. There's not much left on the trail anymore. That's the way it was in the old days when my friend Ed and I used to go 20 odd more years ago, 20 to 30 years ago. Coming here, it was mostly this way. Well, here's a newer section of split cedar planks. I guess they're still doing some, surprisingly. We're at just about Sand Point here, just a couple hundred feet from it. Here's a big Sitka spruce. There seems to be more of them all right along the coast close to the beach area than there is inland for some reason. It's still alive. It's pretty, goes way up there beyond that cluster that you can see. At the base of that Sitka spruce, these big buttress of sticking out for support, typical for Sitka spruce, and inside one of the little alcoves of the is a protected mushroom. Here's an intertwined stump and live tree. At Sand Point. Coming upon a couple big Sitka spruce growing together. And at the base is hollowed out of this one pretty good. I think a person could get inside that without too much trouble. Let's go see. Well, it doesn't go back in very deep after all, but it's a huge buttress base. Here we are coming up on the Sand Point. First signs for Sand Point. And doesn't say Sand Point, but that's where we're at. Ozette Ranger Station, 3 miles. So we came the 3 miles. What does it say? Oh, same thing. Okay, here's an intersection in the trail. This way goes to the actual point and some camp spots. And this one goes right to the beach a short distance. And if you remember right, there's a camp spot right ahead. Yeah. You're on the edge of the trees. Islands out there you can see already. This would be a nice camp spot. Right with a view of the beach. The tide's in though. There is no beach right now, but I mean there's a little bit, but not much. But it gets to be quite a sandy beach out there. Nice camp spot. Somebody's got it cleaned up pretty good. Although they don't let you have fires, I don't think, anymore. There's a little sign over here that says closed. What's that mean? But it's facing away from the campsite, inland. I don't know if it means this campsite's closed or what. Can't imagine. Beautiful spot. This is a view from the same camp spot to a favorite place right at the very point that you can climb up on that rock like those people are up there. And I usually do that and sit up there and have lunch, and it's about the only place you can make a phone call around here via Canada. Here's a sweeping view of Sand Point. All the driftwood logs on the beach. There's a little bit of beach exposed. The tide's mostly in. Although it was low at about 8:30 or something. It's about 11:15, 11:30 now. There's these little rock islands out there. Pretty scenic. And this is the view north towards Nia Bay and Macaw Reservation. A few miles up that way. I believe there's a sea otter out there coming up every once in a while to breathe. Right about in there. There's his little head poked up. Yep, I think that's a sea otter. Pretty sure. I don't know if you can see it though in this crummy phone camera of mine, but right in the center of the picture. See that black dot? There, just poked up again. He's swimming around on his back. Yep. Pretty positive that's what it is. Here at Sand Point, there's a deer laying right there on the beach, just enjoying itself, not caring that I'm here. That's the way it is along the Olympic coast. You can just walk right by a deer practically. Here's a campsite right up above, behind it, right there. Here's 3 more deer laying down, not very far to the south of the last one. I'm closer now to that rock formation at the actual point, Sand Point. There's lots of birds right here at the base of this rock formation, swimming around. There's gulls and I don't know what all. Looks like a couple of 3 ducks of some kind. Well, I'm up on top of that rock and looking at those deer right down there. They got up and are moving, all four of them. I don't know why, if it's has anything to do with them seeing me up here, but I doubt it because I walked right by them and they didn't get up. Anyway, here's the other side of the point. Beach on the other side is more of a beach, a lot of sand, and looking to the south, it's quite a sight. This is back to the north side, and there's some people coming. I think they were hikers that I seen earlier coming from the north. They probably made the 9.2 mile loop triangle using the 2 boardwalks and the 3 miles of beach. Coming from that way, from Cape of Lava into that boardwalk trail. There's those birds down there that I was taking a picture of earlier when I was down there, swimming around. And the sea otter was out there someplace. I don't see him right now. Going back down off the rock, there's a person ahead of me and 2 deer. 1 deer right ahead of her. There are actually a couple of them from that original 4 in the group that I saw before. There's the deer, and it looks like, yeah, all 4 together. There's 3 of them right there. Every once in a while there's this clump of flowers, these hundreds of little purple flowers. I don't know what they are. On the beach here at Sandpoint. People following the 4 deer. And I think I see another one way down ahead of them laying down. Here's a huge old cedar that's still alive. A nickname Big Bertha. It's not too far from the start of the Sandpoint Trail from Lake Ozette. Huge arms up there. Still alive, barely.